Welcome to Talkbirdietome. This is Australia's most popular golf podcast, with former world number 16 Nick O'Hearn, the only player to beat Tiger Woods twice in match play, and tour pro Mark Allen, who played professional golf around the world for 15 years, including a British Open. We're coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. Titleist is the number one ball in golf, and FootJoy is the number one shoe and glove in golf. And thanks to our great partners, Watch My Numbers, the most powerful database golf app in the world. Download from the App Store or Google Play. Ping, as with Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. See your local golf shop or professional for a Ping Club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. And Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Now that's better. Now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, it's time for Talkbirdietome. Here's Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen.
Rightio, Nicholas, it is time for another feedback pod. We love them. Keep the questions coming in. And if you can, why don't you record your question? Ooh. When they record a question visually, Dan, can they go to our website or is it a different way of doing it?
What, you mean to get the file to us?
Yes.
Oh, just email it to us or Dropbox or, I don't know.
Righto, video yourself and just email it to us.
Yeah.
Nice and simple.
Today is a fair bit on the open comments from last week, which is exciting.
Okay.
Brad Hughes.
Hugo.
Has left a comment. Royal Melbourne Composite is the best course in the world, and I have played nearly everything to compare it with.
Well, he has.
He has.
Yeah.
It's in my top three. So.
He also, I was going to say, like you and I, we were so lucky that, I never played an Australian Open at Royal Melbourne. I was the only one I missed in 1991, and I still kicked myself for it. But we played in Heineken Classics and we played in Johnny Walker Classics, and it seemed like we were playing there an awful lot, didn't it? I mean, it seemed like I feel like I've played 8 events at Royal Melbourne Composite. And when it was set up and ready to go for a tournament, I mean, I remember playing with Barry Lane.
Yeah. Right? Barry, he's a great character.
Yeah, Barry Lane was a great character. He passed away not long ago. But Barry Lane, I played with Barry in the first 2 rounds and the final round. And Barry Lane basically was tripping over his tongue for every step he took. He just could not believe what a golf course it was. And he didn't say it was the best course in the world. I can't remember that. But there is no doubt that, so many of the Europeans, and I know that Fred Couples came over when he first played in the Bicentennial back in 1988.
Yep.
They all say the same thing, that if Royal Melbourne Composite was in America somewhere, it would be a top 3 golf course in the world.
I have to agree.
Yep.
And by the way, Brad Hughes' voicemail, did you hear that?
Yeah, I did.
About the Tiger Woods story.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Dan, you put that up for everyone on the socials. And
well,
it was brilliant.
Right.
Oh,
I didn't actually realise the story behind that.
So I think we got to hear this story live. So this book was sent to me through AW, Together We Roared, and it's Evan Priest and, of course, Stevie Williams there. Now, they've sent this to me for a reason. Obviously, they want someone to, let's talk about it. So why don't we try, bad luck, Evan, you're not getting on. Why don't we try?
Let's get Stevie.
Let's get Stevie. Because I haven't started reading the book yet, but I want to talk to Steve.
That'd be good.
And I bet he's got a few stories, not just that one. But I reckon we talk to him, and then on the other side of the break in that podcast, he can tell us the story about the 2000 US Open at Pebble Beach.
Oh, perfect.
Beautiful.
Message from Matt here. Are there any holes on the East course at Royal Melbourne that are better than the West? And if so, what are they?
Ooh, good question.
I know. So I think there's only 6.
6 on the composite.
6 on the composite. Yeah. So what have we got? We got 16, 17, 18 of the composite.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's right. And then 1, 2, 3
of the East is
1, 2, 3. Yeah, they're all on it. And that's it. And that's it. So are there any holes that are better? Well, 18, possibly the best. Well, I think the North Course at Peninsula Kingswood, that 18th is the best 18th hole in the country. That's my view. But there's never played a tournament. I don't think they've played a tournament there. So
that can be your view. Yeah.
I think the best 18th hole that we have in tournament play in Australia is the East. But is it the best hole on the golf course? No. So
I'm thinking. I love.
I like 6.
So are we talking holes on the East that aren't in the composite? Is that what we're talking?
The question was, are there any better holes from the East course on the Composite that are better than the holes?
Yeah, he hasn't specifically said it like that, Nick. But
okay.
what he simply said is in broad terms, are any holes on the East better than any on the West?
Sure, I think so. I mean, I love, for example, 3 East, which is that little goes into the far corner. I think that's some wonderful short
Fabulous
par 4.
hole.
Love it. Even the first East. I mean, that's a great little hole.
First East is a cracker.
Brilliant little short hole.
It is one of the best holes you could ever imagine.
Exactly.
It's funny, on the Composite course, I think there are 3 holes that player of today can drive. So if they play it the old way, it's third of the West, the little dog leaning around the corner, first on the East, and then of course you got 10 West.
Yeah,
all very drivable.
Yeah.
2 of them probably with 3 woods today.
True.
Maybe all of them with 3 woods.
Maybe
the way they're going.
Still on the Open, Hurmeez has said, should the Open be played at the same course, for example, Royal Melbourne Composite, every year or rotated? The Masters is popular in part because it's played at the same course every year and the spectators and the players get to know it really, really well. I would personally vote for Royal Melbourne Composite to be the course every year with qualifying events at other great Australian courses. What do you reckon?
The National Opens, you're talking about the Australian Open.
Yeah.
I think it needs to go around the country myself.
Me too.
So I'd love to see, again, the Australian Masters back at Huntingdale, hopefully, if that happens, because it is fascinating when you have one tournament, our major, for example. I mean, we have 3 majors here. We have the Australian Masters, or we used to, the PGA and the Australian Open. So I'd love to see the Masters at one course every year because it just adds that element of what's going to happen, like at Augusta, on the back 9, et cetera, et cetera. But the PGA and the Open, I think, should move around.
I still think leave the PGA in Queensland though. But I think there are a lot of really good golf courses up there in Queensland.
I don't mind the idea of moving the PGA around a bit, but I think Queensland has some very good golf courses.
Tournaments for some. I think Queensland's got some great tournament venues.
Century Cove would be fun.
Century Cove at the Pines. I remember the first time they played it. I think I might have told this story before. I had to qualify for it at Peninsula, the old Peninsula, and I played with VJ Singh, and we both qualified for the Coca-Cola Classic. And the Coca-Cola Classic was at this brand new golf course designed by Arnold Palmer, and the winning score was going to be even par.
Wow.
Well, the cut was even par, and the winning score, I think Roger Davis won it. It was about 20 under, so they got it completely wrong. But I would like to see a tournament back at the Pines for sure. I think the Pines is the best golf course in Queensland. That's just my view.
Okay.
I may well be wrong. And Queenslanders, and we know a lot of Queenslanders listening to the podcast. What is the best golf course in Queensland? I'd love to know.
I'd love to see it go back to Coolum.
Coolum
for me was
you
I'm a bit biased.
You used to win there.
You are biased.
I had a friend who played Coolum recently, and apparently Coolum is back, back to its best. So that's great too.
What about the dinosaurs?
The dinosaurs are gone.
They're gone.
Apparently it burnt down, the one in between 10 and the, and the 9th.
Okay.
The one in between the 9th green and the 10th tee caught on fire.
Oh, the dinosaur.
Wow.
The dinosaur caught on fire. And that was the end of the dinosaurs.
That was one of the dumbest things ever. Putting dinosaurs on a golf course.
Yeah,
crazy. It's just ridiculous.
I agree.
Now, Hurmeez has said he thinks it should be at Royal Melbourne Composite every year. Jonesy has got a slightly similar view, but a little bit different. Jonesy said, I'm a Sydney sider, and I reckon the Aussie Open should not be anywhere but on the Sandbelt every year. It's our golfing centrepiece, and rightly so. And the Sandbelt should be the home every year for the Australian Open.
Well, that's interesting, especially someone from Sydney. I think Sydney deserves it, though. And unfortunately, in a corporate world, I think more and more the Australian Open golf is going to be a postcard to the rest of the world, Nick.
Yep.
I think that's why I think, the Australian Open being at Royal Melbourne coming up, Visit Victoria is behind it. People have got to come to Victoria for some reason. And golf better than any.
Absolutely.
With the Sandbelt here and the availability of playing, probably 5 golf courses that will be in the top 100 in the world. And I'm talking about probably the 2 at Peninsula Kingswood as well. If you haven't played the new Peninsula Kingswood, guys, it's worth the trip. Don't just play Kingston Heath and Royal Melbourne, Victoria, Metropolitan, Commonwealth now is a standout. Make sure you put Peninsula Kingswood, both courses on the list. You can stay there as well. The accommodation out there is.
Are you on the list to get in the club or something?
No, but I've got to take a friend there soon, so I'm trying to do a favour. I'll get to the manager shortly. But those 7 courses I just mentioned,
It's incredible.
they are all worthy top 100 golf courses in the world. And if you tag on, 4 courses in Tassie that are top 100, so you got Barnbougle, and Barnbougle Dunes, and Cape Wickham, and what's the other one on King Island? Cape Wickham and
Ocean Dunes.
Ocean Dunes. And then you got Goggy's courses coming up.
7 Mile. Yeah.
7 Mile Beach and 5 Mile Beach. It's going to be pretty spectacular.
Peter Fuller had a listen to the story about Pete Lonard and the trophy at the Portsea Pub. And he said, hey, guys, I would love to hear Pete Lonard's memories of this story. Any chance?
Well, we can't go too early, but there's possibly a new sponsor that this sort of thing is going to fit nicely. That's going to fit very nicely. Yeah. And I'll just say this, I would love.
There is a very good chance.
I would love to host a lot of old time players
that'd be fun.
Talk Birdie to me.
Oh, okay. Now, we have a Wolfpacker who would like to have a chat with you guys, so we're going to dial up and crank up the old WhatsApp machine, and we might have a chat to them after the turn.
Beautiful.
More speed off the tee. More control with your irons. More spin with your wedges. And more opportunity to shoot lower scores. The all-new Pro V1 and Pro V1X.
We're live from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. We all know the number 1 ball in golf is Titleist and the number 1 shoe and glove in golf is FootJoy. We're here thanks to the Golf Clearance Outlet. They beat everyone's prices. Ping will always help you play your best. Turn your bogeys into birdies with the Watch My Numbers app, and Better, the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. That's better. Now, back to Talk Birdie to me. Here's Nick and Mark. All right, and I reckon we've got Matthew now. Oh, and there he is.
G'day, Matty. Mark Allen and Nick O'Hearn. Nice to see you.
Matthew.
Yeah, hey, how are you doing? Thanks for having me on.
Whereabouts in America are you? Nebraska, I'm told.
Yes. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska.
Unreal. I think you played a Nike Tour event there.
I did.
Yeah.
I remember playing an event there in the late 90s, I think. I used to have a Nike Tour event there. I can't remember what it was called, but anyway, it was up there.
The Nebraska Open. The Omaha Open, it would have been.
Yeah, probably.
Hey, I'm glad you're listening to our podcast, Matty. That's fantastic. What's your question?
Yeah, so I was just thinking about what you said about Rory's shot on 15 being probably the greatest shot in the history of golf. And I thought it provided just a fun thought experiment. And so I think if you'd ask, a casual fan or a big fan of golf, you might get a number of different responses. So I was just thinking of some kind of criteria that would narrow it down to, so it's like if you meet these conditions, then it could be eligible for that discussion.
Could make the list.
Let's put some parameters around it. Let's go. What are they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, feel free to chime in or disagree or whatever. But I thought it must come from a major championship.
Yes.
It must be on the on the final Sunday, final day of the tournament.
Yes,
I'm liking it.
Yeah, and then it must be on the back nine.
Mm-hmm.
And so those are the must-haves.
Yes.
And then the other things to consider would be the degree of difficulty of the shot. Was the tournament still in doubt? Was there OB or hazards in play?
Yes. I love all this.
And then maybe the difficulty of weather, and then the gutsiness, just the gutsiness to go for the shot.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
And if any pets were in the way, we could add that one in there as well, Matty.
Sorry about that.
No, I love your parameters. And see, Rory's shot ticks every box. Every single box.
Just for our audio listeners, because not on YouTube, we have a cat going back and forth in front of Matthew, which is hilarious. So
we're going well. Every time we have somebody on WhatsApp.
Oh, my God.
There we go.
Now we're seeing a side of you.
We did not expect to see that today.
Matthew, two fabulous reasons you've come on. I love the parameters, and I think those parameters should be absolutely involved. And it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if Rory hits that shot on the front nine, And I don't think there's a hole really with water on the front nine, is there?
Not
really.
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Just hooking it around. Like, for instance, he shot on the 7th hole that went through a tiny window in the pines, landed on the front. If it was
the greatest dumb shot I've ever seen.
That was the greatest dumb shot I've ever. That's right. That's right. But if that shot, that doesn't even enter into what we are talking about, even though that was a freakish shot. So I think you've raised some really good points. I think, Matty, there in Nebraska with your cat, you have brainstormed pretty much some criteria. I think the only criteria that was missing, and this is what elevates Rory's shot above all the others, is the situation that he was in trying to win a career Grand Slam.
Well, Matthew said, is the tournament in doubt?
Yes.
That was part of his criteria.
Was it in doubt at that stage?
I think that's perfect.
I think Rory's career was in doubt.
That's true.
After what he did on 13 and 14.
Yeah, that's true.
And one other thing I'd like to mention is when I was rewatching some of the clips today, I mean, that shot he had just shot a 7 on a par 5 on 13, and then he bogeyed 14. So just the mental toughness to have an idea for a shot and just to pull it off, I just think was just incredible, which I mean, I think it lends itself to being, up there in the discussion of one of the greatest shots ever hit.
No, I have to agree with you there. Now, your accent's a little different. You're Canadian, I'm assuming, are you?
No, I'm full blood American.
Full blood American.
He's got one of those accents where I'm thinking it does sound a little Canadian. Now I've just offended every Canadian who listens to the pod. My bad.
Tell me this, Matthew. Nebraska, there'd be a lot of people in Australia wouldn't have a clue where Nebraska is, but it's very high up on the continental United States map. Is it golf season there yet?
It is. It's warming up, and the greens are the fairways are starting to turn green, and everything's coming alive, and it's springtime here. But
how long's your season? Together. How long is your golf season there in Nebraska? 6 months, 7 months?
Not that long. Maybe,
isn't that amazing?
Wow.
Maybe 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
Well, Matty, if you ever make it down here, mate, let us know, and we'll definitely try and put you on some of the best golf courses in the world.
So that cat is really good at it. Hey, Matty, before you go, does everyone in Nebraska, in Omaha, love that Counting Crows song? Because that is a great song.
Yeah. Good question.
It is. It's very popular here. Yeah.
I reckon it would be.
Hey, thanks for making contact with us, Matt. We appreciate it.
And thanks for listening.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, mate.
Isn't that great?
Cheers.
Isn't that great?
What's your cat's name, by the way?
Ozzy.
Ozzy.
Oh, that is beautiful.
That's brilliant.
See you, mate.
See you, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Start tearing the old man down, run past the heather and down to the old road. Start turning the grain into the ground, roll a new leaf over. In the middle of the day, there's an old man treading around in the gathered rain. Oh, mister, if you're gonna walk on water, hey, could you drop a line my way? Omaha, somewhere in middle America, get it right to the heart of matters. Think you better turn your ticket in. Just get your money back out the door. So you start threading a needle, just brush past the shuttle, it slides through the Coolum room. Turn the wool, cross the wire, and roll a new life over. In the middle of the night, there's an old man threading his toes through a bucket of rain. And mister, if you're gonna walk on water, hey, you're gonna walk all over me. Omaha, get it right to the heart of matters. Then you better turn your ticket in. Go on, Charlie, get him. Just get your money back at the door. you start running the banner down, just come on, drop past the color, come up through the summer rain. Turn the girl into the ground, roll a new love over. In the middle of the day, there's a young man rolling around in the earth and rain. Well, mister, you don't want to walk on water, you know. You want to walk all over me. Omaha, it's yours. Just get your money back at the door. Omaha, it's somewhere in middle America, right to the heart of matters, 'cause it's the heart that matters more. Hey, just get your money back at the door. It's Sunday morning and I'm coming home. Today.
Aussie. How good is
How
that?
about that?
Wow.
That is very good. Very good.
How about their golf season? 5 months.
That's crazy.
5
It's
months.
crazy. And he fooled me on the on his accent because he sounded very much like Mike Weir. Mike Weir.
Yeah, they do.
The
Well, I
Canadian.
think-
They have that little different
yeah, no doubt
tone.
about that.
Anyway.
The higher you get.
Now we had a caption contest a couple of weeks ago with the prize on offer, $250 at the Golf Clearance Outlet.
Yeah.
Now the caption contest was to use that photo of Wilbur
Oh, yes.
at Augusta, Nick. That
Mhm.
fantastic photo, which we'll put back up on socials. We had a heap of entries. I've narrowed it down to 3. And
Okay.
I'd like, Nick, you to select the winner.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The first one, I think we're going to make this one ineligible for the prize.
Okay. Well,
This
down
is
to 2 then.
this is from Cam Percy.
Fair call. Yeah. Well, he's in the States, so you know.
Yeah, so he's ineligible, but it's a good comment. How do I make money caddying for a guy who hits it left-handed and putts right-handed? I need to make better life choices.
Yeah, fair call. I like that, Cam.
Nice. Very good.
So Cam's ineligible. Okay, now here is the 3 finalists. This is from Finko. He told me to be here at 7 a.m. I'm sure that's what he said. Did I suggest 4-iron instead of driver?
Yeah.
Very good.
Not bad.
Very good.
Not bad.
This one here, Brendan, Augusta National, hey? This looks more like Waverley Public at 7 a.m. in July.
Who was that? Sorry?
Oh, that's from Brendan.
That was Brendan. No, I like that.
Not a bad little course, Waverley Public, by the way.
Never played it.
Yeah, good place
Okay.
to play.
And this one from Jacob. After all I do for him, we get to 15 and all he wants to do is hit that stupid 3-wood.
Very good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd pick the last one. if I
I'm
was
going
you.
with the
Yeah,
last
I'd
as
pick
well.
the
I
last
like
one.
that because I know Wilbur's probably still thinking about that as well. So brilliant. Yeah.
All right. So Jacob Graham has won $250 from
Beautiful.
Sam and the team at the Golf Clearance Outlet, which is a great prize. And well done, Sam.
Well done.
Well done, Jacob. We'll be in touch with all the deets there. Okay. A couple of last little comments here. One on mulligans. Random Cosmos has said, got a mulligan for you, boys. Doug Sanders missing a short putt on the last hole to win the Open, then losing in a playoff the next day.
Yeah, we missed that
Yeah,
one, didn't we? That was a big miss.
That's a big miss, and it would have been a handy mulligan if we were handing him
I
out.
needed that.
Yeah.
Yep.
From Ray. Hey guys, I've had the chipping and pitching yips for years. The thought of it terrified me. So after hearing Nick putts right-handed, I wondered if chipping with the opposite hand would help. I'm right-handed and I got a great deal on a left-handed Cleveland chipper from the Golf Clearance Outlet. I practiced. I hit the first chip onto the green and I haven't looked back.
Isn't
It
that
felt
great?
natural
Brilliant.
right from the start and it works better on the course than in practice. My iron play has also improved because the fear of missing greens is greatly diminished. Thank you, Nick.
Oh, you are welcome, even though I didn't actually mention chipping that way. But it's funny how when I first went from being lefty, and I'm looking in this direction to the right, obviously, to looking to the left as a right-hander, something in your brain switches and that heebie-jeebie feeling goes.
Yeah.
It actually does. And Brett Ogle, great example.
that's
He
right.
chipped left-handed for a while.
Yeah, he
Because
did.
he had the chipping yips right-handed.
I remember, it's funny, we shouldn't be laughing, but I remember seeing him with the left-handed sand iron. It was a left-handed ping sand iron.
He asked me for a lesson one day. It was hilarious.
In his golf bag. And we were playing it, I think it was Castle Hill, and I saw him practicing his chipping left-handed. He was practicing like an hour a day. And in the end, I ended up playing with him. And I can remember saying to him, I said, mate, if you practice your chipping as much as you have the last week, you probably wouldn't have the yips. What are you doing? But yeah, he hit the ball so he probably didn't have to chip too often.
No, he was such a flusher.
He was such a flusher.
I think it was at that Aussie Open where Steve Allen won the shortened Australian Open, and Brett came up to me and we're chatting, and I saw he had the left-handed wedge, and I'm like, "What are you?" And he says, "Oh, no, I'm trying this, and how do you do it?" And we had a bit of a chat. It was quite funny, but incredible how it changes things for you in the brain.
I wonder if our caller. Because I always found it was really difficult to. The feeling of changing hands. I wonder if he's still got the right hand below his left when he chips left-handed.
True.
So let us know.
Yeah.
But I reckon that would be pretty comfy actually just doing that.
Yeah.
Because you see a lot of people chipping backhanded these days. I think the latest one I saw, a really good player chipping backhanded or with the reverse hands was Stuart Sink.
Oh, was he?
I think Stuart Sink is now chipping.
I didn't notice
that way.
Okay. I know Matt Fitzpatrick does it that way.
And I know no one knew it, but Peter Senior chipped that way for like 20 years before anyone worked out he was doing it. No one even knew.
All right, last bit of feedback here. This is not so much feedback as a comment, but it's a really good one. This is from Paul. Hey, boys, I heard you talking about young Jasper, 9 years old, a couple of weeks ago on the podcast, and I wanted to share some insight for you.
Yeah.
He comes into play at our simulator every week.
Right.
Now, in one of the sim courses, Cuavara, Mexico, he shot 54 off the green tees.
He did not.
54 off the green tees, including the requirement to hold your putt. At Pebble, the Hay, R27 sim course, he shot 10 under.
He did not.
Finally, at PK North, yes, the actual course, off the white tees, he shot 6 over 78.
Wow.
And the kid's 9.
And he's 9.
He's 9.
All right. Now, listen, we really have to do an episode with him in our Titleist simulator.
That's incredible.
We've got to get this kid in.
Yep.
And he can just, don't have to interview him. He can just talk us through how he plays golf.
You can play against him and I'll watch
No,
because I want to see you get your butt kicked.
So Paul,
I don't want to do that.
Paul is finishing up by saying, Jasper's a great kid. We love having him come in, but when we watch him hit shot after shot perfectly, it is very, very depressing.
All right. We're getting him in.
I think we have to.
Yeah, we have to.
Well, we've got a contact now with Paul.
Perfect.
So we might have to come here after hours.
Yeah, he's got school. That's right, he's got school.
He's got school.
Yeah.
We'll work it out.
All right, that's it, boys.
See you guys.
All right, cheers.
And that's been Talk Birdie, Australia's most popular golf podcast with Nick O'Hearn and Mark Allen, coming from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters. As everyone knows, Titleist is the #1 ball in golf and FootJoy the #1 shoe and glove in golf. Wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to subscribe, maybe leave a review, and we'd love you to share the pod with a friend who loves their golf. Huge thanks to our fantastic partners. Ping, like they do for Nick O'Hearn, will help you play your best. You can see your local golf shop or professional for a Ping club fitting. The Golf Clearance Outlet always beat everyone's prices. Visit golfclearanceoutlet.com.au for your nearest store. Watch My Numbers is the most powerful data-based golf app in the world. You can download from the App Store or Google Play. And better, they've got the fastest and easiest betting app in Australia. Download from the App Stores today. Now that's better. Keep in mind, what are you really gambling with? But for now, from our studio at Titleist and FootJoy headquarters, thanks for being a part of the show. We'll see you next time.